Okay, welcome back to video 6 in this special series. This is a masterclass that Rob Wensley and I are putting together, all about how to build a $1 million a month wholesale business. Now, this is a very unique masterclass because I don't think anybody's really teaching how to do $1 million a month wholesaling real estate. So this is really unique. And this information that Rob is sharing is coming from real world data. This is where he is on the ground with the largest wholesalers in the country, seeing exactly what they're doing to win at a massive level. So I hope you guys are getting a ton of value out of this. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos. Watch them in order if you can. You'll get the most value that way. And this video is going to be really special because Rob is actually going to share from his perspective, from his expertise, looking at the top wholesalers in the country, what they're doing to move their deals very quickly. There's no way to scale a business. There's no way to do $1 million a month if you're sitting on inventory, or if your properties aren't appealing, if they're not being clicked on and bought and contracted like 24 to 48 hours max. So there's a lot of strategy. There's some great tips around this. And Rob's going to break down for us on this video what you need to do to dispo those deals very fastly, very efficiently for top dollar. Awesome. Thanks again, Rob. It's great to be here with you. And again, thank you, Rob, for this amazing value that you're adding to the community. Guys, be sure to leave a comment and say, Rob, you're a flipping genius. Yeah. Thank you for sharing this valuable information. We'll talk a little bit more about InvestorLift, what that platform is. But talk to us. What are the top wholesalers doing to make their properties just pop and sell really fast?
Okay, great question. So there's a lot of opinions on this, right? And people have different opinions. What I'm going to share with the audience today is based on insane amounts of data. We're wholesaling, moving more real estate investment deals through InvestorLift than anyone else in the world. So nationwide, we'll sell about $12 billion of houses this year.
Guys, you hear that? $12 billion just this year.
And each month we're sending 70 million emails are being sent out every month through our systems. And
dispoing properties.
Yeah, 70 million a month. Think about it. There's 350 million people in America. We're sending 70 million emails a month. It's a ton of emails. A lot of emails. 45 to 50% of those emails are opened every month.
Which so is that means high open rate.
It's really high, highest in the industry. We have the highest open rate by far in the industry. So we got 35 million people opening emails every single month, and we track all the opens, all the clicks, and then when the buyers hit the website, we also track every single activity. How many photos do they click through? How many times do they view the same deal? Do they stay on that deal and then leave to go to another deal? Are they making inquiries? What kind of inquiries? Are they making offers? Are they requesting addresses? So there's all these different interactions that a buyer can have, and we track all the data on that. So collectively, we're spinning off over 250 million data points on buyer activity every single month.
So this is allowing you to see what buyers want, what they do, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, and then you're assimilating that data to then give you feedback as to what's working.
Absolutely. So these insights, I'm sharing them because if you just take the insights of this video and you don't do anything else, literally the insights of this video are not going to take you hardly any time. It'll maybe take an extra 50 minutes per deal up front, but then you're going to sell your deals 10 times faster at way higher prices. Okay? So I'll go over a few high level, because if we went into everything, we'd have to do a whole series just on that. Just on this. But I'm going to go over like the big hitters. Okay? The biggest hitters: photos and videos sell deals. Photos and videos sell deals.
Quality
photos and videos sell deals. I'll tell you a story. Of course, we're all familiar with Airbnb, right? In 2008, Airbnb was getting kicked off. It was a couple of graphic design students that were working on it, just running out of the dorm. And they got a little bit of money from the startup incubator, Y Combinator. Use that to get it rolling, like New York City and a couple other cities. But they were pretty much financing the whole thing on credit cards. They literally, like the founder, he said he had, those baseball card books. He had a baseball card book full of all the credit cards that they'd taken out
rolling them.
Yeah, just rolling them, to get off the ground. And they were on the verge of just collapsing so many times. And they started looking at their booking data, and they saw this outlier. There was this one Airbnb in New York City that was consistently booked all the time. They're like, what is it about this one Airbnb in New York City? They're like, okay, let's get on a plane. Let's go to New York City. Let's interview the guy and find out, what's special about this host that he's constantly booked when other people are just getting booked like once a month or twice a month. So they go up there, and there's nothing really special about the place. It looks about the same as any other place that's on Airbnb. So why is he getting booked all the time and other people aren't? You know what the guy's job was? The host?
Photographer.
Professional photographer.
I knew it. Yeah.
He just had a regular place the same as every other place, but he had banger photos.
Yeah.
Awesome photos. And they realized really quickly, like, oh my God, it's the photos. It's the photos of the place. His place is not anywhere different than anyone else's, but he has the best photos.
Lighting, angles.
All of that.
All of that matters.
All that matters hugely. Just shoot with a wide angle lens versus a regular lens. You shoot with a wide angle lens, it looks twice as big. You know? That's an easy pro tip for you guys. If you're taking photos of a property on your iPhone, go to 0.5. Shoot it.
Yeah.
It looks twice as big.
I mean, why would this be any different with wholesale real estate than it is with retail real estate? I do luxury houses, and we hire a professional photographer. He spends all day. We get the night shots. We get the money shots. Because that's what sells. I mean, if your photos can't draw in someone to go look at it or to see more, you've already lost.
Yeah. And the way that most wholesalers look at it, they're like, these are investors. They're used to
it's a crappy house. It's a messy house anyways.
No one's going to care. They do care.
Yeah.
People do care. So these guys, they realized that the photos were what sold these properties on Airbnb, or what would get them booked. So the two of them went to every single Airbnb in New York City, and they shot photos. Professional. Themselves, the founders, one by one, every single Airbnb, and they relisted all the photos on the website, and you know what happened?
It blew up.
New York City just exploded. And then they took that insight and built a system for people across Airbnb to get professional photos, and then within 6 months, they went from literally the verge of bankruptcy to a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah, all because of that.
All because of photos. So I'm telling this story because I want people to understand, because I tell people this, photos are the biggest thing. And then
they don't listen.
I go hit their deal site 6 months later and they're still doing shit photos.
And how many photos?
So
is there more is better?
Yes, more is better. So, and there's a graph that I can actually give you that we can maybe overlay over this video, where you'll see there's a direct correlation between the number of photos you post on a property and how much money you actually earn off the sale of that property.
So more photos is better. It's information. Give your buyers more information.
I always recommend 40 to 50 photos. That's
40 to 50. Love it.
Yeah. And get them done well.
I actually, guys, if you want it, I'll put a link below, but I have an entire instruction sheet for your photo guy. And it explains, I want you to stand at the street in the front of the house, take this photo, turn this way. I want the neighbor to the left. I want the neighbor to the right. I want you to pan. I want the side of that. It's like,
idiot proof.
Yeah, there's no way you can screw this up if you follow this instruction guide on how to do the photo. Same with video. The video, I mean, you tell me, but it needs to be a tour. The more they can visualize floor plan and layout and flow, the easier it is for your buyer to sit there at his desk and say, I want this deal.
Yeah. Video's the next thing. Video sells because on photos, it's really hard to figure out the flow of the property and the floor plan. Because it's static, and you're like, okay, how does this fit in with that one?
Yeah, what angle am I looking at exactly? Yeah,
exactly. And videos will give that to you. Videos give that to you in a way that photos can't. So you want to have really great photos, but then you also really, really need to get a video walkthrough. So we looked at the average assignment fee data of properties that were listed with video versus without. Without video, the average assignment fees are in the 20s. With video, they're in the 30s.
Yeah.
It's over $10,000 difference. Just by getting a video. We're talking making 35% more per deal. Just by pressing a button on your camera and walking around. Absolutely incredible.
Game changer, just doing that. If you guys aren't doing that, I mean, what the heck, now do that.
You're robbing your team and you're robbing your family if you're not doing it.
You're stealing money from your family. That's a good way to look at it.
You're funding your buyer's college kids' tuition instead of funding your own. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just laziness to not do it. So there's no excuse. Get video on every property.
In a minute, we'll get some resources out that are really awesome.
Absolutely. I'll tell you where you guys can go. I think you got some.
I've got a good one too.
So get a video. And by the way, I'll tell people this, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's because people only do video on the more expensive properties. What we found actually is the inverse of that. With video is making more money, but people are actually, the average sale price of a property on InvestorLift with video is actually lower than without. Isn't that interesting?
Why is that?
Because I think my thoughts are that on the higher price point properties, I think that, let's flip it. I think on the lower price point properties, people are like, I need to do a little bit more work here to get this moved.
So I need to see more.
So they know it's going to be a little bit tougher to move, so they put in the extra effort.
Yeah.
To get a video, because the lower the price point, usually the tougher it is to move a deal.
Okay.
So I think people are just putting in a little bit more effort.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Showing the numbers, yeah.
Photos and video really matter. Okay.
Really matter. The next thing, and this is a newer innovation, but it's incredible, is 3D walkthroughs. Matterport, or any 3D walkthrough. Matterport's the biggest one. They used to have the camera that you'd
put in the rooms.
$4,000 camera you put in the rooms. Now they have an app for the iPhone that you can literally stand in the middle of the room and scan it.
So explain what Matterport does, or what those 3D renderings
do. You guys have probably seen this, but basically it's a camera that spins around in a circle and it scans the whole room, taking pictures, but then also creates a 3D kind of model. So you go room by room by room by room, and at the end of it, you end up with a 3D model that you as a buyer can click through and walk around almost as if you were there at the property.
So you can see the floor plan.
You can see the floor plan. You can literally walk the property without
You can actually move it like this, like you're actually going through the room.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Now, this is really critical for buyers, because if you think about a buyer, you're getting bombarded with deals all day long. Wholesalers are calling you 50, 100 times a day. Hey, check out my deal, check out my deal, check out my deal. For you to spend the time and effort to go out and actually drive to a property and visit it, it's a big time commitment.
All day, half a day, yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm getting deals sent to me all day long, and I see it's got a 3D walkthrough and I can virtually walk it first, that decreases my risk a lot on it being a waste of my time.
Yeah, because you weed out crappy floor plans, weird additions, rooms are too small. Does it? What's that third floor going on up there? All those things. Does it have a laundry room? You know all of that now.
I get a text message on my phone. I click on it. I look at it. I'm like, all right, I'm thinking about going out to this one, but 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But if I got the walkthrough, I click on the walkthrough, I'm like, okay, actually, you know what? I can move this wall and I could do that. Mm-hmm. Now, so all right, I'm going to have to see this.
Yeah.
And then also there's certain hedge funds where they have certain cities that they operate in where they have boots on the ground, and they will buy outside of those cities, but only if it has a 3D walkthrough, because they'll have people in the office that are construction experts that will be just literally sitting there looking at properties with 3D walkthroughs and creating the scope of work for those properties virtually in an office. But they can only do that if they have the 3D walkthrough. So if you don't have the 3D walkthrough, you lose all those hedge funds.
Yeah. Let's talk now resources and cost, because I know people listening to this are probably like, well, geez, what does all this cost to do this? Yeah. And how do I find the right people? That's a question I get quite a bit. And what's great is there are some resources that make this way easy.
Mm-hmm. By the way, before we touch on the resources, I'll tell you what the numbers are. Without a walkthrough, the assignment fees are in the 20s. I'll get the actual numbers and give it to you so we can put it up here.
Okay.
With a video walkthrough, in the 40s.
40s with video.
Or with 3D
Matterport. Yeah.
It's even a bigger impact than video.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, catch that. Powerful.
Yeah.
Worth spending the money, in other words.
Absolutely. 100% worth it. So let's talk about resources. Okay. I don't think if you're scaling your business, I don't think any of you should be going out and taking the photos and videos yourself. It's not an effective use of your time.
No.
So there's a million different resources out there, but the one that I see people, the high volume guys on InvestorLift, using more than anything is a company called HomeJab. Okay. I'm not affiliated with them at all. I don't make anything. endorsing them, but I'm just telling you that's what I see people using the most. It's like $450 to get a package that will give you 50 professional photos, 3D video, a 3D walkthrough, and a video walkthrough as well.
And their turnaround's pretty quick.
Fast.
I mean, it does take a few days.
Yeah.
And what does it run? About $500, I think.
So it's $479.
Okay, $450, $500.
Yeah.
And you get video too, right? So you get video, so you get photo, video, and a Matterport drawing. And I mean, that's $450. That's a cost there. That's not just $50 to the local, Facebook Marketplace kid to run out there and take some crappy stuff. It's nice. Like when we first, you recommended Home Jab. When we first used them, I was like, are you kidding? This is like pro level quality. It was really amazing, their quality. Now we've been using another service called NVMS. Have I told you about NVMS?
You told me about this.
They are fantastic because, and I had no idea. How did I not know about them before? They've been around a long time.
Yeah.
I talked to the director of their company, and it was funny because I was trying to get a better deal, Rob. I'm like, hey, I'm a volume guy. And I said, I'm going to do 1,000 deals this year. And he's like, yeah, that doesn't do anything for me. He said they move 30 to 40,000 a month in orders. Now, what's great about them is they'll do photo, video, and they'll do all that, but then they also do rekeys and lockboxes. For me, that's huge. Rekeys and lockboxes. Huge. And they'll do trash outs on site. So the way the trash out works is they send their guy out there. He does all the stuff. If the trash out is under $1,000, they're approved to just do it. And it's whatever it costs. So like, let's say there's 2 garbage bags. Well, they're going to charge you $50.
Yeah.
But they're authorized to go up to $1,000 in trash out expense. Over $1,000, they have to give you a bid that you approve.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back and do it. What I love about this is risk because you're probably taking your photos and all that prior to closing. Mm-hmm. You don't own the property. You're under contract. Now this is, I'm assuming, vacant. So this works with vacant.
Yeah.
But like, I'll spend $1,000 all day long to do the trash out so that the photos are 10 times better so that I can dispo my deal and get way more just by moving a bunch of crap out of it. Like on almost any house, there's going to be some stuff, on the counters or whatever. And for them to do, and basically $1,000 is getting you like an entire pickup truck full of crap out of the house.
Wow.
That's going to be a game changer on your photos. Huge. So like I've told those guys over there, like, done, do it. Like spend $1,000, trash this thing out. I'm going to take the risk, even though it's vacant and I don't own it yet, to just do that light trash out.
Oh yeah.
Just because I know my pictures are going to be phenomenal.
So much
better. Yeah. So guys, they're called, I'll put the link below as well. Again, I don't know that they do an affiliate program or whatever, but I'll just share that resource. Home Jab is the other one.
Great.
I think there might be some other services out there, but
if you know any, by the way, drop some in the comments.
Yeah, if you know someone great. Now, again, we're talking scale, so these are nationwide.
Yeah.
Home Jab, I think, is in pretty much all the markets. NVMS is. They're in every market. They're great. They have phenomenal service and they're really reasonable. Pricing's great. So guys, this is, again, how are the big guys scaling? How are they putting lockboxes on houses? How are they getting pictures and video and Matterports? This is how they're using these services that have created these, because there's companies doing high volume. A lot of these services are working for like banks and they're working for real estate agencies and stuff. Yeah. They're working for restoration companies. Mm-hmm. So like there's resources that can do this work for you.
Yeah. It's not something you should be doing yourself.
No.
Maybe on your first deal, sure. Maybe your first couple deals, but like once you start rolling, like you gotta systemize it.
Yep, totally.
Absolutely.
Great. So what are some other things that make a property sell fast?
All right. So if you think about the funnel of moving a deal, you're going to have the primary ways you're going to blast out your deal is going to be text and email. Okay. But primarily email is going to be the biggest one. Now on the email, you got to think of it as a funnel. I got X number of buyers I'm going to send the deal to. And then there's going to be a certain percentage that open it. And there's going to be a certain percent that click on it. And then a certain percent of people that send me an inquiry or submit an offer. Okay.
So guys, think about this. Email marketing, you've got open rates, means they open the email, click, which means they clicked on your link to see the property. So you have a click-through rate. What's next?
You got your click-through rate, and then once they've clicked on it, you're going to have, ideally, you want some sort of activity, some sort of interaction.
They're moving around, looking at pictures, whatever.
You're capturing their information, their phone number, their email. You see that, okay, this person has expressed some interest in my deal.
Yeah, okay, so
and then
all of that
from
is
those, you're getting offers, and then eventually you get one buyer, one offer.
Yeah.
But you're going to start that out with like, I think the sweet spot is like 3,000 to 6,000 buyers. Is like, if you want to move a deal in 48 hours, 3,000 to 6,000 start.
Within a how far distance? 15 mile, or is that
with
closer?
It? I'll just go as close as as tight as I can, but I like to be in that like 3,000 to 6,000 range if I want to move fast. Now, a lot of guys make this mistake in going way too big. They're like trying to send out 20,000 emails. A huge mistake. There's an inverse correlation between the number of emails that you send and how many actually get opened. Do you know why?
Why?
If you do 20,000 emails, all the email service providers are like, yeah, this is a marketer. You're going straight into spam and promotions. You're going to have a 4 or 5% open rate.
Yeah.
The way that we maintain a 45 to 50% open rate is we do not allow people to send out more than 7,000 at a time. We played around for years with that, and we found that 7,000 on a blast is about the most you want to do.
Yeah.
But the real sweet spot, I think, is 3,000 to 6,000 for maximum performance. Now, the first lever there then is going to be your open rate. So what drives your open rate?
Your copy.
There's only one piece of
subject
copy.
line.
Subject line.
Yeah, your subject line.
Stupid simple, right?
Yeah.
So write a good title that's straight to the point. If it's a quick and easy flip with 100K gross spread, there's your title.
Quick and easy flip, 100K spread.
Yeah. If it's 15 cap in prime neighborhood, there's a title. So think like clickbait, kind of not really clickbait, but like straight to the point. Lead with money. Okay, but don't put dollar signs. That's another thing. You put dollar signs,
or emojis.
You're going to promotions. Emojis, do put emojis, because if you think about it, we get bombarded with emails, right? So if I go to my junk email, which has got leaked to a bunch of wholesalers, which I don't really care because it's junk. I mean, if you just look at the email box, you see when there's an emoji, what happens is it stands out. It stands out.
There's a house with fire emoji.
Your eye is attracted to color.
There's a bag of money sign.
Yeah. So what we find is if you throw emojis in your titles, you actually get a slight boost in open rates.
Because it looks different. Yeah.
It's small, it's 2, 3, 4%, but it does make a difference. So another hack, Emojipedia, I think .org or .com, Emojipedia. You search for Emojipedia. You can go there, type in whatever you want, fire, dollar sign, whatever, just copy and paste that, throw that at the beginning and end of your title, and like
if you want to get emojis for your subject lines.
Yeah, it's easy to do on the phone, but when you're on the computer,
emojis are harder. Yeah.
Where you find them, Emojipedia is where you get them.
Emojipedia, like encyclopedia, but Emojipedia. Okay, that'll get you some emojis. The common ones you see are money, fire, those little house emoji. There's the one that's like broken, like the rehab house, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a dumb little thing, but it does make a difference.
But your subject lines are first point of contact, right? Like if your subject line does not catch someone's attention, they're not going to look at the description.
100%. All right. So now we got, let's say 45, 50% of those people opening our email. Now, what are they going to see on the email? They're going to see at least one photo of the property in a description. All right. Now we got to get people opening that to call us or click on the deal to go look at more info.
Is it the exterior photo of the house?
Yeah, so those are the next two things we optimize for. That first photo of the front of the house is huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
I've seen so many times where like the exterior photo is like, it's kind of garbage, or like maybe we didn't have one, so like someone blasts out with the street view.
It's the kitchen with crap on the...
and then we get like 20% click-through rate, and like, oh, this is crap. And then we're like, all right, and we get professional photos back, and we put one that's really polished, and like the sky is blue and the grass is green, and then the exact same deal, and now we're at 45% open rate.
Which is another reason why one of my buy criteria is curb appeal. Now, curb appeal is hard to teach somebody, but it's not really that hard to teach somebody. Like, it could be a great house in a great neighborhood, but if the curb appeal is really bad, I just know I'm fighting an uphill battle now. Whereas if I got a nice, cute, like sharp looking house with a garage or whatever and front porch, and it just looks, it's gonna draw attention to that house.
So I would put this is a little insider tip. I would do is I would first of all, make sure my crop was really good to really accentuate the house. But then I also go bump my saturation up and adjust
colors.
Increase the blues, increase the greens.
Yeah.
It just makes
all of a sudden it looks like the house is painted.
Yeah. Because if you got a big, beautiful, colorful photo, it's going to drive your click-through rate.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then the next thing you're going to have on that email is going to be a description of your property. This is where people mess up the most. It's absolute laziness I see from so many wholesalers. They'll just be like, 3-2, 1,900 square feet, must close by April 15th.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, look, you're asking for people for hundreds of thousands of dollars of their cash. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And that's all you put in your description? No.
And you know what's great now is, guys, if you suck at copywriting, then, you know, there's AI now. Put the thing in some AI. Say, I want some pizzazz to my, and ChatGPT will spit out some beautifully written thing, you know, like.
Absolutely.
Long gone are the days of needing a professional copywriter to do this stuff.
100%. The key on the description is this is also a notice, but I've heard so many people say this: if the deal's a good deal, it'll sell itself. No, it won't.
Not true.
It's a noisy world. And you're fighting for the attention. So what you need to do is, as soon as someone gives you a few seconds of their attention, because that's what you get when you send out an email blast, you get a few seconds of their attention.
That's it.
And you have a few seconds of their attention to grab them and make them invest more of their time to maybe consider giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what you need to do is, like, sometimes when people have like deals that they post, and I'll be on call with them, and it's just like a garbage deal. I'll ask them this question: would you buy this deal?
If it were your money, would you buy it?
Would you buy it?
Yeah.
If they say no, then I'm like, all right, it's not a deal.
Yeah.
The greater fool theory.
What a great
does not
sniff
work.
test.
Yeah. If they say yes, then I say, why would you buy this deal? Explain to me. And they're like, oh, okay, well, there's this comp that was done by this investor. He bought for this. He sold for this. There's that comp. Rents in the area.
They're building new houses right down the street.
There's a factory up. The curb appeal is great. It's a really safe neighborhood.
There's a house that just sold for $450. Yeah.
Golf course. Here's a pro tip. In Florida, there's always a golf course. There's always 2 or 3 within a few miles. So just go on the map and be like, look up the golf courses nearby and be like walking distance from whatever golf course, like anywhere in Florida.
You know, one way to do this, I'll share a quick tip that I do, is because I do a lot of deals in markets I have no idea. So I'm like, well, what is the selling point of this deal?
Yeah.
Is I'll go on to Zillow and I'll find the highest selling home, like active or sold, and I'll look at what the agent is putting in their description. And so if it says beautiful views of the city, if that's the first line, then remember, an agent, if they're good, they've only got so much description space to fill out their description. They're going to put the top features first and work down.
Such a sick tip.
Yeah.
That is fire right there.
Yep.
I'm going to start training my guys on that.
Look at what they're saying. So, like, for example, I just did one, so it's fresh in my mind. It talked about the views. 1 or 2 lines in, it said 10-foot ceilings. It said on-street parking.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear these things, I'm like, does mine have that?
Yeah.
Well, that must be a big deal.
Yeah.
If it's on there, it's a big deal because the agent is going to push the best things about that house.
So
and if it's 3 doors down from yours, now you know your best things.
Yeah. And those are going to be all the things that really explain. It's funny that, remember that Alabama deal, the first one we were posted on your investors account? So I was doing an onboard call with Pedro. Here's the other thing. You can learn about the area from your buyers too. So we blasted it out. And the first buyer I talked to, he's telling me about how a $15 billion plant was just approved for construction 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
And we're the closest city to that plant. So what's going to happen to the property values there?
It's all going to go way up.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? First thing in my description, 15 minutes away from blah, 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 $15 billion plant that's expected to bring 1,000 jobs to the area.
Done. Yeah.
I changed my title. Like looking for an investment with massive appreciation upside.
Yeah.
So
also, like my Pittsburgh deal, it had a garage. There's no garages in Pittsburgh. Like that's a big deal. In fact, I called an agent that's representing flippers, and she's like, "Here's what they're doing. They're the flippers here, if they have a garage, is they put the electric car charger. Because all these tech guys coming to Pittsburgh have their electric cars.
Super smart.
So now it's like garage. So now in your marketing has a garage. That's instantly going to catch a cash buyer's attention who knows Pittsburgh. They're going to be like, garage?
Yeah.
And they're going to be wanting to see this.
100%. So that's the exercise you got to go through, guys. When you're, ask yourself, would you buy this deal? And then if so, why? And then that's your description. Lead with money. Explain the numbers. And what I like to do is on ARVs, I don't like to give one number. I'll give a range. I'll be like, this thing is going to be $450,000 to $525,000 depending on your scope of work. Okay, because I don't want to. If you give a specific number, then you start getting these like back and forth with buyers. So I'll give a really wide range, and I'll be like, repair estimates are
75 to 125
to 75 or 75 to 125, depending on your desired scope of work. And then on my comps, I'll range comps. I'll have a $50,000, sometimes even a $75,000 range on different comps that hit different levels of finishing.
Because everybody's going to rehab differently.
Because everyone has a different idea.
Yeah.
There's no perfect use case for a property, and someone might have some idea that you haven't even thought of. Some new value add to the property.
Add a second story to it, whatever.
Yeah, pop tops, extensions, accessory, dwelling unit, whatever. So remember, we talked about in the last video how to do the work to make sure that we're priced right. We know we're priced right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to write a description, but we don't want to box ourselves in. Keep it super broad and just give them data points to accelerate their research on the property. Don't make them go hunt for the comps. Give them everything. Give them the high comps, but also give them the low comps. You got to look at the low comps, because if you only look at the high comps and you're only listening to the high comps, the first thing they're going to do when they get on the phone is like, beat you up. See that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed this one.
Yeah.
No, just throw it out there. They're going to find it. These guys are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't think they're going to look at the low comps?
Yeah.
Just put them on there.
Yeah, but I love that you're still providing the data, because I do think you want to give your cash buyers as much information as you possibly can so that they can make an educated decision.
Exactly.
What you're saying is, don't make it so specific that you pigeonhole, because then all you do is you create an argument.
Yeah, you don't want to never get an argument.
They're going to call up and be like, there's no way the ARV's 350. Well, I didn't say 350. I said 325 to 375, so that allows you to kind of give some leeway. Great. Love that.
That's the keys on the descriptions. Lead with money. Make it based on...
Now talk to me about your strategy, because we do this where you have asking price and a buy now price.
Okay.
What's the philosophy behind that?
Yeah, that's what I want to touch on next. All right. So the next leverage point is, so we got a great photo, we got a great description, we got people clicking now, looking at the deal, now starting to analyze comps and all of that. And when they get there, on InvestorLift, we like to do a dual pricing strategy where we don't just have an asking price. We have an asking price, and then we have a buy it now price. Okay, there's a reason for that. Okay, the reason for it is what we've found is if you have a deal and you think it's going to sell for $250,000, if you put it out at $250,000, you kill half your buyer leads. Half the people that would actually buy it for $250 actually will skip over it. So what you're better off doing is putting an asking price at like $225, where now it's hot.
Yeah.
And now you don't just have one offer, you got 10 offers.
Yeah.
And then you put a buy it now price of $255, $260. But now you've got 10 guys bidding against each other. Now psychology starts getting in the works. You're
trying to create a bidding war, an auction frenzy type environment.
You do an open house and make sure 5 guys are all walking the house at the exact same time.
Yep.
And then that's how you can push people up to the buy it now. So I believe that your asking price should always be really attractive.
So when you figure out, okay, if I want to make 20 grand on this deal, that means my exit number I want to target is, let's just say 175.
Yeah.
So would you make your buy it now 180 or 175?
I mean, it really depends on the deal.
Okay.
I want to put the buy it now at a price where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can hit that.
Anyway.
And if I can, it's a huge win.
Yeah.
But not too crazy where it's like, oh, no one's going to pay that. Like, I want to be like, okay, there is going to be someone that's going to pay that. Don't get too greedy on the buy now. I just use it to get another 5,000, 10,000 max.
Okay.
And I'm talking about higher price point stuff, you know. Like
right. So your ask price, the strategy here is your ask price is always lower than what you really want.
Yeah.
The idea there is that it's priced so aggressively that you create a lot of attention, draws a lot of eyeballs. The high activity is going to create competition. Cash buyers are notorious for wanting to win because they're just aggressive type of people. So they want to not lose more than getting a deal, you know. And that's just human nature, really.
Yeah.
So then now you get that thing up to the numbers you really want to be at.
Now here's what this saves you on too. This saves you on having to show people the properties. So when I was wholesaling, I was a busy guy, but also I like to work smart, not hard. So I didn't want to spend my weekends showing properties. So do you know how many properties I've ever shown?
How many?
0.
Yeah.
All right, here's the secret. Here's how I used to do it. And like this strategy, keep in mind, I've been retired from wholesaling deals myself for 2 years because I've been focused on the software. So the market was a little bit hotter back then. It might be a little bit tougher to like move stuff sight unseen now than it was. It was easier back then. But here's the strategy that I would do. So my asking price was always very aggressive, and then the buy it now would be like a little bit more than I would be like really happy with. Okay. So I'd push stuff out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because that's when the open rates on emails are the highest. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, my deals are going out.
Okay.
Okay. And when a buyer calls you, what's the most common thing they're going to ask?
Can I go see it?
Jackpot. So what I would do is I'd have my open houses tentatively scheduled for Saturday or Sunday.
So they have to wait 4 or 5 days or whatever.
And then what I do is I say, look, we're accepting offers from now through Friday. We believe that this property is going to sell for the buy now price before Friday. But if it doesn't, we're taking away the buy now price. We're taking it away. And then at 1 p.m. on Saturday, everyone that's bid on it is going to get an invite to the open house. You're all going to walk it together. And then highest and best bid wins.
Genius. Okay, let's break this down. I want to make sure this is really clear to you guys. This is fascinating strategy. So if the open house is on Saturday, but you don't market the deal till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then what you're saying to all those interested parties that want to see it is like, yeah, no problem, you can see it, but not till Saturday. What that's doing is it's forcing your showings to postpone them. And then in the meantime, the goal is actually to sell it before anybody actually does a showing, because there is a lot of buyers will buy sight unseen if they have enough data. Now,
especially if Matterport.
That's right. Now, if you don't have video, photo, and Matterport, probably not. It's going to shoot you in the foot. But let's say that they've got all that data. There's no reason why someone actually needs to see a property if they got photo, video, and Matterport. Like, why would you need to see it? What else do you want to see?
Yeah, and on mine, I would even throw in some inspection reports too. So I would actually get inspections done. I knew there's hedge funds in my county that would only buy if there's a mainline scope inspection done. So I'd spend the money and get that done and attach that to my deal posting.
Yeah, I do that all the time too, especially if I know there's a known issue. Yeah. Then I'll go ahead and get bids for it.
Get bids, yes.
So 100%. Like if I know there's a foundation problem, if I know there's a roof, I'll go ahead and get 3 bids, provide that. Anything that's an objective, solve, right? So find the solution to the problem, provide that, and it removes the barriers. 100%. So then what you're saying is okay, well now, since no one's going to see it till Saturday and we're pushing it out on Monday, then now between Monday and Saturday, our goal is to get this thing committed to a buyer.
Yeah, at the buy now.
Now, let's say no one does, and you get to Friday, and now Saturday.
Didn't do the open house, but now you got 5 guys walking the place, all with huge freaking egos.
All week long, those guys
you're going to probably sell it for your buy it now or more.
Or more, yeah, because they're all going to.
Now that you got,
and you have a tight window, so your open house is for an hour or 2 hours. So you want them all at the same time. No one has
see each other.
No one has private showings.
No, never private showings. You want them to see each other.
Yep. Now, what's something cool that you're doing on InvestorLift is you have your hottest properties now.
Yes.
So when you first go in there, What you're doing is you're taking properties that are getting the most action and they're getting displayed as hot properties.
Yes.
And that's a really cool feature because now not only is it true, like it's actually the hottest properties because they're getting the most action.
Yeah.
But if you've got a property on there, then you're going to get now displayed in the front.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And we do it the other way too, where anyone that's looked at your deal on InvestorLift, if you got 40 people that looked at your deal, even if they haven't logged into the website, even if they're not logged in, we'll show you the names, phone numbers, and emails of all 40 of those people.
So now your follow-up can now call them up and say, hey, we saw you looked at our property. Can I answer any questions? What do you think? Yeah, boom, now you're working it. Yeah, that's fantastic. Guys, this has been an amazing video. I mean, this is some high-level stuff about how to really dispo your deals that are going to get you such higher success rate, right? So Rob, thank you again so much. Guys, we've talked a lot about the InvestorLift platform. If you don't know what that is, it is the #1 biggest marketplace for wholesale deals in the country. What was it, $12 billion in deals are coming through InvestorLift this year alone. Up to 20 probably in another year. I mean, it's just phenomenal. So if you want to be able to put properties on InvestorLift, go ahead. There's a link below in the description that'll show you how you can learn more about that. If you're not ready for that yet, because they do have to be, good deals, you have to be doing a certain level of volume and be active as a wholesaler. If you're not quite there and you want to dispo your deal in JV, I'd be happy to put your deal out. I do have the highest level at cartel mode in InvestorLift. One of 50 in the entire platform that has that. So I have access to over 4 million active cash buyers. If you've got a deal, I can get it moved. We can JV. So I'll put a link below for that as well. And also be sure to be following this playlist that we're putting all these videos on. There's a link for the playlist. We're going to just keep putting the videos in the series in there so you can continue to learn and watch, all designed to help you build a $1 million a month wholesale machine. That's what this is all about. And again, I just want to thank you, Rob. It's been fantastic doing this series with you, learning so much. Hope you guys are getting tremendous value. Leave a comment, say, Rob, you're a flipping genius. And thank you for your time and expertise. And let's do another one.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next video.